Okay, hey, welcome to another episode of On the Wrist from Off the Cuff. Today we have something that's actually not on the wrist, which is Seiko clocks. We're going to be talking about, yes, more Seiko products. But for those of you that are looking for a watch, hey, boom, it's kind of part of a theme today, right? This is actually my SKX Enhanced, so there was never an updated SKX apart from the Seiko 5KX. So yeah, this was my take years ago on what an updated and upgraded SKX should look like using mainly Seiko OEM parts for kind of an OEM plus type of build. You can see the Marine Master clasp, etc. But today we're going to be talking about these awesome clocks, and there's actually different variations and different colors available, but everybody knows Seiko for timekeeping. We love their watches, and they have some actually really cool, interesting clocks. But what I think is really nice is they actually have clocks that pay tribute to their wristwatch designs. So a little bit about Seiko. They were founded back in 1881. They're Japanese in origin and now have factories throughout Asia. The very interesting thing about Seiko is that they cover all market segments from entry-level to high-end, and these are some pretty entry-level products here. You have this 12-inch wall clock here, and then which goes for $110, and then this little number is only $45, and it's a little, on stand alarm clock there from their My line, and it's $45, and this thing is cool. And you can see there's even a hand to be able to set for your alarm, and they both have this really cool sweet sweep. Look at that glide there. It's very spring drive like. I assure you, not the same technology, but very cool. For a lot less, you get that really cool hypnotic, tickless sweep there. So very nice. And there's even a light feature on here, which of course would work better in the dark, which is something that's pretty cool. Whoa, look at that. Yes, Lumibrite. Look at that. We're just, this is exciting stuff. Exciting times. And of course, you do get that lovely Pepsi motif, which is great. And of course, both of these are paying tribute to their, SKX 009-ish type of design aesthetic, which is really, really great. So with that said, normally I would zoom out and kind of kick things off to the next shot, but we're already zoomed out as much as we can to kind of fit this piece in. So actually, let's get a closer look and get into this hypnotic sweeping hand. Check that out, guys. Look at that thing go. And let's just tilt this so you can get the little Seiko in there. Very nice. Check that out. Look how smooth that is. Now again, of course, this is blown up. This is a wall clock, guys. So don't expect this to be some crazy, the detailing you'd find on a watch at a macro level or anything like that. It's going to be a much different affair to look at this, but you can see it's actually quite reflective. And I do want to shift this so you guys can get a look at the triangle. So the nice thing is, this isn't an actual rotating bezel, but you can see that it does have that cool look. Same thing here, not a rotating bezel, but it does have the very cool look, and it is quite handsome. Even that dial color does remind me of the original SKX, how it had a very almost black, kind of matte, bluish black type of dial. Very cool. And then I like that they played with the color schemes, and there's a lot of different colors available. But let's go ahead and quickly kind of talk about this larger wall clock first. This is their part number QXA791JLH, and you can actually buy this directly from Seiko. What I'll do is I'll leave some links. I actually met the guys who run Seiko Clocks division at Worn and Wound in San Francisco. Well, their wind up event from Worn and Wound. Their wind up event. So there I actually met the team, and it was really cool. It's not a huge team, but it's a very enthusiastic team, and they do have some really cool products that I think speak to watch enthusiasts as well. Of course, they have got tons of stuff that is just great for anybody who needs a clock. I mean, they're gonna have great products on that end, and just like you would expect. But I think something that you don't necessarily expect is something as fun and kind of exciting as something like this, with the smooth sweep, with the diverse aesthetic. So the quick bullet on the design of this 12-inch wall clock. It's basically Seiko's heritage design. It has that all integrated into the dial. It's a sports watch lover and adventure seeker, and all of us. And this wall clock features a quiet sweep seconds hand, which moves continuously, eliminating the annoying ticking sound and allowing for worry-free in all quiet spaces. And the Lumibrite tipped hands are easy to spot at night. And the quiet quartz movement definitely keep time with precision. So that's nice, because when you get to a clock, if you think that a cheap quartz watch can tick loudly, a wall clock ticking loudly, you can actually hear, and some of you might remember that. And this smooth sweep might remind some of you of grade school, in that smooth hypnotic flow. But it's very cool, and I have to say, a nice thing. Bam, look at that. It's just so cool. I love that. And then, of course, you even get that same effect here. It actually was at an angle, so it didn't get lit up as much, but you can see it does even have, in at least this smaller model, you can have an actual light up little LED that will shine a light on there. But the Lumibrite that's applied will actually glow. Let me do this. Let me hit this thing up. Let me just charge it real quick so that it got a little bit of extra. Actually, let me just use the black light and supercharge this bad boy, so you guys can see how potent this is. Let me just try to put the... Yeah, check that out. So, very nice lume. I mean, is it watch lume? Of course it's not as bright as you would find on, an actual diver. I mean, it's just a different type of application. But you can see also that it's more of a blue tone. I'd say in reality, it's not quite as pure blue as it's showing up here, on the camera. But it is definitely it does have a blue hue to it. But yeah, these are just cool, guys. So I really dig this. In terms of the dimensions, it's about 11.81 inches. And that's, of course, all the way around the circumference. And then thickness, it's under 2 inches at 1.7 inches. So 1.77 for the large clock here, which is very cool. And, if I was at a restaurant or, walking by a garage or visiting somebody's home and I saw this hung up somewhere, I would think it is extremely cool. And then moving on to this piece, which is going to be really something that's fantastic for really anywhere. I mean, you could take this to work, you could leave this, on your nightstand, anything like that. This is the My Alarm Clock in the classic blue, part number QHE184ELH, $45. And these My Seiko alarm clocks are inspired by Seiko watch designs. They include a precise quartz movement, and of course that same quiet sweeping seconds hand, which is really cool. Again, this is, if you want to have a smooth seconds hand, this is probably the cheapest you're gonna find one. Because a traditional mechanical movement, of course, is going to just have a number of ticks per second there. So in this case, a 3 hertz sweep is going to have 6 ticks per second versus this, which is just smoothly flowing. So very, very cool. Little dust on that front window, but you can see very clear clear, very legible, and it just screams watch fan. I mean, this thing is cool, and then it's quite, it's quite small, quite portable. Of course, made in China. You can turn the alarm on or off, and then of course it'll ring depending on when the minute hand crosses over wherever you set this little hand here. So very cool. You do also get that LED, which means that when it rings, you can also use that, and I'm sure you can use that button to actually disarm and disengage the alarm as well. Of course, in a well-lit room, it's not going to really tell as much of the story as it will, in the darkness there. So look at that, is just so cool. I dig that a lot. I would say the one thing is, the handsets aren't necessarily super specific to Seiko. I mean, even the dial layouts themselves, it's not like there's a particular reference. I mean, it happens to look a little bit similar to my mod here that's using a Stargate dial, but and then sumo hands. It actually kind of worked out that they look quite similar. I mean, it's not a one for one by any means, but there's definitely a bit of a family resemblance that can be seen across, the three different dial faces. So this one right here is about 3.7 inches all the way around. And of course it stands up, so that's about how tall it is as well. And it's about similar thickness, as you can see here, at just under 2 inches, being 1.97 versus 1.77. So this is going to be slightly thicker, but this also does have a bit of an angle because of the way that it sits. As you can see, it's going to be shorter on this side, taller on that side, because the way it's going to sit. Very cool. Great for a nightstand. Great to just throw in your bag if you're traveling. I don't know. It's just like, does it get any cooler than that? I could just stare at that seconds hand just sweep steadily away forever. I could just watch that. Like, that's just something so cool about that, and that's why everybody loves Spring Drive, is for that ultimately smooth sweep. And you get that. I mean, you get it blown up. Like, how fun is that? Neither of these hack, I will say. When you set them, is you set it like a standard clock here. You're just going to turn this. What I've done to figure out, so if you do purchase one of these, is you just pull the battery out when it gets to 12 o'clock. You set everything, and then when you want it to jump start, you put the battery, and you connect. You connect it, so then you'll be good to go, and it will jump. And that's how I was able to time hack, all of these three different things together. And then it's also just one thing to note, a very normal affair, nothing crazy back here. These actually did come with these exciting Maxwell super power Ace batteries, so something that's included, which is nice. And you can see it is, again, a very standard affair in terms of a clock. So the nice thing is you don't have to worry about, hey, if you gift this to somebody, that they're going to need to be like super into watches or even have to understand anything with watches, because you're going to be able to set this just like you would a normal wall clock. Same for here, very intuitive in terms of setting it. Again, the main thing is if you want to hack the seconds hand perfectly, you will be kind of playing with the battery in the back. Also, for this My series, there's actually tons of different color options available. Definitely check their site for all those options and the availability of them. I mean, there's stuff that's blacked out, there's some gilt stuff, bunch of different color play there, which is very cool, and I like that. For the cheaper option, you get a lot more different kind of variations. Here, they actually do have another kind of big diver style one. That's black and white. If you're looking for something more colorful, less colorful, and a little bit more versatile and monochromatic. For me, this was kind of the pick of the two that I saw within this style, just because this is just a lot more fun. It's bright, it pops, yeah, for me, it just triggers a little bit more in terms of, you know, if somebody sees this hanging up, you think, wow, that person must love watches, specifically Seiko divers or just dive watches in general. So for me, guys, closing thoughts on these really cool clocks. They're definitely a lot of fun, whether it's a personal purchase for your own desk, nightstand, or wall. But also, I think it's a really fun and creative and inexpensive gift option for those fellow watch collectors in your life. You know, you can't always buy somebody. So this is something, if my wife's watching, this is a great idea, right? You can't always just buy me a new watch because, one, I have expensive tastes, and two, I typically buy the watches that I want. So instead of putting yourself under all that pressure, guess what? You could just buy one of these clocks. They're super cheap. I mean, this one's 45 bucks. This one's 110. And yeah, you could buy one of these clocks and put this and gift wrap it up, and this would be super cool. So maybe too late for me, but not too late for you guys. So, you know, send this link to your loved ones if you want one of these as a gift, or if you're just redecorating your man cave, office space, whatever it might be. I definitely recommend these. They're, again, it's not Grand Seiko quality. I mean, you're getting that cool Grand Seiko like sweeping seconds hand, but when at the end of the day, you know, it's nothing crazy in terms of the build quality, the fit and finish. It's all very solidly constructed. Nothing really luxurious about it. So definitely, you know, I want to manage expectations. This is all a bunch of plastic. It is made in China, but these are just fun, and there's something that I enjoyed sharing with you guys. And, you know, big ups to Seiko Clocks USA for sending these in to kind of show you guys, do a little quick show and tell. So let me know if you guys have any questions. If you like the video, please do hit like, and if you haven't already, please subscribe for more content just like this. Thanks, guys.